Yeah, we're back. Okay, cool.
And you're back in the room.
And we're back in the room. What happened? Why am I naked?
Whoa.
Sorry, that was
that
weird.
escalated quickly.
That was weird. Please cut that out.
No, that's going at the beginning.
going.
That's going to be our opening. Everyone, we're back. It's episode 5. It was going to be episode 6 because we had a slight cock up. So we are back. This is our regular rotation. We apologise for not having an episode last week because we had a computer malfunction, which was only fixed this very morning. So I actually wasn't sure we'd be recording this today.
Yay.
But we're in our regular rotation now, guys. We've kind of got through our little intro, so now we're going to be doing. Now it's going to be just a weekly recording things. Everyone's excited about that.
We're going to have some kind of schedule. I don't work well on a schedule.
We'll have a schedule and a plan.
We'll have a chaotic schedule.
Good, because I
Because
feel like
they'll
there's too
suit
much
us all.
pressure otherwise.
So
You listen to the Deleted Scene podcast. This is the podcast brought to you by Flitter Films. We make short films and web series and things you can find online. And actinghour.com. You can go to actinghour.com for your all your movie news, reviews, interviews. And there's also promotions for web series and independent films and competitions there, such as They do Actor of the Week and they do web series of the month. And other things as well. You had a Halloween thing out over October, didn't you? Actually, that's not up anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way of kind of condensing the explanation of Acting Hour down to like one kind of handy
I've
tagline.
asked you guys to write me something and you never have.
And when
In
you
like 2
say
months.
I asked you guys to write me something, I feel like Lydia should do it because she is the original founder. Like she is the one much more in control than I am.
yeah.
But she has buggered off, so I'm gonna do my own condensed version. Acting Hour for all your networking needs.
Yes, you are
There you
networking.
go.
Would you
Essentially,
say you're
that's-
primarily networking? That you're,
I mean, that's how it started. I mean, we've got all of the competitions and everything else, but it all kind of links into the same idea of just getting the word out there for everything that everybody is doing and allowing people to chat and get relationships within the industry. So yeah, Acting Hour for all your networking needs.
excellent.
I like
work.
it.
You also
I like
do
it.
Actors Headshot Service and
Yeah,
Posters
we do
and all
all
sorts
of
of
the things.
various services.
Yeah, check out the website. It's on the show notes.
Actinghour.com.
For all your networking needs.
See, that is catchy, right?
It's catchy. I like it.
This show goes up every Wednesday along with Acting Hour's Acting Hour, which is not just a name, it's actually a thing. It's an
Yeah.
hour
It does
of
actually
acting.
stand for something, yeah.
So
Yeah.
between 1 and 2 o'clock every Wednesday in the UK and 9 and 10 or 9 and 10 in the
between 9 and 10. So it's
1 and 2
LA's
o'clock LA time
Yeah.
for the US acting networking, and you just promote yourself and chat with people on Twitter and Facebook and everything else and get involved and meet like-minded people and so forth.
Yeah, you can
Starting to sound like a dating website.
I am.
You can follow
Could
Acting
be.
Hour on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow Acting Hour for
And-
Films on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and you can follow
Yeah.
us on Twitter at Deleted Scene Pod and
Yeah.
find Deleted Scene Podcast on Facebook and all this other. Governments will go to that at the end as well.
Yeah.
We are a gaggle of London-based creative types plus a physicist from Milton Keynes who get together and chat movies and TV and online internet things. Particularly, we want to highlight web series.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big thing. So me and Kaylee make web series as Flitter Films. And Mel, you've worked on web series stuff. Matt, you've appeared on some of our web series. You haven't said anything yet today.
No, I haven't.
Excellent.
I'm here because somebody said my name 3 times into a haunted mirror, so I'm here until
I
midnight.
hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
So annoying.
How do we
happen.
reverse that? Do we know?
Oh, I have to kill the person who did it, Christian.
I was going to say it was Christian.
Well, that's my last show then.
Damn it. We are depleting in numbers. We talked about this in the last show.
We did.
But now we've gained Matt back, which is good because you've got your voice back, which is always handy for a podcast. So
Matt could have done like a mime version of the podcast. that works on
Just like-
podcast, right?
just done the whole episode in code. Just knocking.
Like Morse code.
Yeah, Morse code.
Yeah. Sure, that sounds like definitely it'll work.
That it wouldn't be
Yeah.
incredibly
Hugely
annoying.
interesting for all involved.
Yeah.
Before I introduce us, I want to do my final shout out to Matthew Parker for our opening theme tune. We're working on getting some other tunes and themes and everything together and polishing the show up into a nice standard. It's still building it as we go a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we've figured out a structure now.
Yeah.
As I say, we're in our regular weekly rotation. But thank you to Matthew Parker for our opening theme tune. You can find him and his works on, I've got it written down somewhere, Matt JP Music on SoundCloud for all his stuff and things.
Great.
That was fun.
That was fun. I liked it.
I am Christian Mitchell Dolby, also known as the One Bearded Man on Twitter and Facebook and YouTubes. I recently put out a video which was my drug-addled, cold-influenced brain attempting to do a video at Comic-Con. So I recorded on my phone like every morning and every randomly, and it's the worst video you've ever seen. But it's on my YouTube. It's the last thing. Have you seen it? It went up on my YouTube.
I genuinely didn't think you would see the light of day, because while you were recording it, I was just like, you are pretty much sleepwalking.
I don't remember a
at
lot
this
of it.
moment of time. I don't even think you're going to remember doing it. So
I was
I'm glad
very
you went
ill.
I don't remember meeting Batman.
I was very ill, and I took way more than the daily recommended dosage of cold medicine.
Yeah,
and
before we left the flat in the morning, you'd
pretty
already exceeded the dose.
It was fun time.
Yeah. But don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah,
No.
don't do drugs, kids.
We do not promote that. Across from me is Mel, we've already heard, and representing Acting Hour.
Yay! And myself, all at the same
All
time.
at the same time. Also, you're a bit cold today. You're a bit ill.
Yeah, I've suddenly kind of had an onslaught of the plague. Because I'm not over dramatic in any way, and it's definitely the plague, and I'm going to die.
There we are then.
No,
So Matt's going to kill me. You're going to die.
I'm
within
gonna
a-
die,
soon it'll just be Matt and Mel. Speaking of
Yeah.
Matt, there
And
he is.
Kaylee.
Oh,
not
and then
Mel.
I'll dematerialise at midnight as well.
So just be Kaylee left.
You just got
Yeah.
the gingers confused. You just called me Mel. And
Kaylee, shut up.
So Christian's
No, I'm just saying. You just said
racist.
this was going to be left Matt
We
and
don't want
Mel,
the
and I was
same,
like,
Christian.
when
You know what
not
I
all
mean.
gingers look the same.
I will play it back and see if I actually did do that.
You
And then
did.
Then I'll
You
edit it
genuinely
out,
did.
and
Say that you
no one
didn't.
will ever know. So Matt, our physicist for Milton Keynes,
Hello.
who is an essential element to any podcast.
Exactly, yeah.
Good work.
I'm here to make sure all physical laws are obeyed.
Excellent. And meanwhile,
How are we doing right now?
Or poorly.
very poorly. And at Mission Control, Kaylee,
Hi.
who apparently I called Mel a minute ago.
You did. But then if you were going to cut that out, you have to cut that too. So do you
I'll
want to do
cut
another-
everything out.
He's
There's
just gonna cut
going to
the
be
whole
no show
podcast.
at all.
Do you want to do another introduction to me?
It's Kaylee at Mission
Hi.
Control. I'm not going to cut any of this out. Fuck it. How are you?
I'm slightly still high on the sugar that I ate at the cinema, so I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we've all established and we've all sat in.
Yeah.
What have we got for movie news? Let's have a quick blitz through some movie news.
All right, quick blitz. I love it. All right, cool. So the last episode we talked about, when we were at Comic-Con, we talked about the fact that Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool 1, has left based on creative differences with Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
And now I can say that they have a new director. So they have got David Leitch, who is the director of John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just done other things as well, I assume.
Yeah, but he's most
John Wick
known,
was
I
pretty
suppose, for John Wick. So yeah, so that's the big movie news in terms of.
So has he done much
Deadpool.
comedy though? Is he just an action director?
Yeah, but then John Wick was pretty funny,
It was-
actually. So
it
I
was
think it's like the
interesting.
right tone for a Deadpool. movie.
Yeah. Do you want me to look up the director right now?
No, don't worry about it.
It's like, don't ask me questions I can't answer.
Don't ask me.
I think Ryan Reynolds will probably have quite a bit of creative input in the. kind
Yeah,
of
he
funny
seems to be
side.
Yeah.
kind of in control, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you know the kind of little kind of videos and vignettes and things like that they put out before
Yeah.
before
Right, yeah,
Deadpool's
yeah.
release.
Mm.
Ryan Reynolds reckoned they had at least another kind of 45 minutes of stuff that they hadn't released.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So, yeah, because I think the Tim Miller originally left the project because he wanted to increase the budget from like Deadpool 1 to Deadpool 2, and the studio was a bit like, no. And that pretty much seems to be the main reason that he left, was like a budget sort of.
So not really creative differences at all. It's just like, you're not giving me enough money.
How-
I'm out.
Yeah.
How well does your film have to do in order to get a budget increase?
I know.
I mean, given that
Well-
Deadpool was such a small budget film,
Yep.
that was,
I've got the
had
actual
made
money
so
here.
much money.
It's made for 58 million, and it pulled just shy of 783 million at the global box office.
But apparently their profit was not big enough.
So it's probably
How
like
these
it's like
things work.
14 or 15 times the
Hmm.
original budget.
So yeah, so that's sort of, I suppose, number one on the movie news list. Second thing is the fact that Emilia Clarke is actually going to be joining the Han Solo Star Wars movie.
Oh, I had heard that actually.
So
who's she going to play? Han
doesn't
Solo?
actually say who she's going to play. She's not going to play Han Solo.
Interesting
Sorry,
recast.
gender swap, like it. But no, she's been cast, and all we
Young
know is
Chewbacca.
that she is being cast. Chewbacca.
Oh my god, I would love that so
Amazing.
much.
It'd be so meaningless.
Amazing.
Such pointless. Anyone could be in there.
It's a bit like Vin Diesel as Groot, really.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So yeah, so that's the news. I suppose is the fact that the Han Solo movie has now got Alden Ehrenreich. Oh, for crying out loud! I still can't
Oh, go on, say his
name.
name again. I love it.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Sure, why not?
That's his
Do
name.
we know anything
Plays
else
Han
about
Solo. So Han Solo is going to be played by him, and Donald Glover has been cast as Lando, which we said last time.
So it's them.
So it's them
Doing
as Han and Lando, and then there's obviously
then
Chewie's
Emilia
going to be
Clarke
in it,
as
and then
Chewbacca.
Emilia Clarke's in it somewhere,
In some form.
but we don't know that. That's what
As
we know.
the woman.
As a
As
woman.
the space
The only one
woman,
with a
surely.
hole.
The space woman.
So yeah, so there's that. There is also the fact that Willem Dafoe is going to be a part of Aquaman. So going for like DC news, I suppose.
Okay.
So he's going to be part of Justice League, to set up a character that they then going to refer to in the standalone Aquaman film.
Oh, so I thought you were going to be.
Okay.
He was part of Aquaman.
Like his leg.
Yeah.
He's just going to be
He's
part of
Aquaman's leg.
Aquaman.
You know he's playing with
Willem
Aquaman's
Dafoe.
trident.
That's a good impression of a trident. Well done.
Um,
That nobody saw.
Doesn't work on a non-visual format.
Exactly.
We'll
Think,
have to
think
take a
of,
picture
think of
of it.
Eddie Redmayne in Fantastic Beasts. that was kind of what
Slightly
Christian was
wonky.
doing.
Yes. Yeah, we'll,
Stop being mean to Eddie. Come on. Okay.
we'll get
Why?
to that
Save
in a
that for
minute.
later.
So
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. If you want to talk DC news, I know that the Flash movie is on its fourth director.
yeah, they
They just keep
constantly
cycling through directors like no people
the
drop
directors.
out.
A lot of the directors are leaving.
Yeah.
So yeah.
People just don't like working with DC or something. I don't know.
But from the excitement of DC movie news to Marvel TV news, yay! Is the fact that Marvel have sort of revealed that they're working on an Inhumans TV series. Yeah.
That's going to be an Agents of Shield spin-off, surely.
So obviously they've done the groundwork with Agents of Shield, but the fact that they're going to be doing it and they're going to be debuting it in fall 2017, but after the premiere is played for 2 weeks on IMAX screens. So they're
Okay.
actually debuting their TV series in the cinema
So the
in IMAX,
okay, all right,
which is pretty cool.
interesting. Is this instead of doing the movie then?
All I can tell you is they do a TV series. They might do a TV series that then will lead on to a movie. But
I don't know. I wonder if it's just going to be totally separate from Agents of Shield, or if it's going to be some characters from that, or
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
really care.
So is Inhumans like another team then, or is
They're
that-
basically the mutants, but they haven't got access. They haven't got the rights to use the X-Men and the mutants. So basically,
right,
they're kind
okay.
of the same sort of idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People with random powers.
yeah. If you've seen any of like Agents of Shield, if you've like kept up to date with it, they've been laying the groundwork for
Yeah.
Inhumans. For
They're
a
basically-
while. Yeah.
It's set up in Agents of Shield. They're basically mutants. and
Yeah.
X-Men, but different characters. Is it a whole separate comic series? I don't really know anything
Yeah.
about it. I don't know what the subtle difference is between them, but
Yeah, I think in the Marvel universe there are kind of various different ways you can get
Yeah.
magical powers.
it seems like almost everyone on the planet has some
Yes.
sort of powers in the Marvel universe. I feel like the DC is a slightly more slimline, but
Yeah.
Marvel just fucking everyone can do whatever.
So yeah, there's that, and then finally, in the last sort of movie news, is the fact that Rami Malek, who's in Mr. Robot, who's the lead in Mr. Robot, has been cast to play Freddie Mercury in the sort of biopic about his life.
Okay.
It's pretty
I
cool.
can see
'cause
that.
Sacha Baron
Yeah.
Cohen was originally attached to play him, and then
I can
he
see that as
left.
well.
And the director is the producer Graham King has been sort of trying to find somebody else, so now they've got. Is it Rami or
Rami,
Raimi?
I
I want to say
think.
Raimi. It's Raimi Malek.
I definitely prefer the idea of Rami Malek to Sacha Baron Cohen because I know he's an actor. Obviously, he can play different things, but in my head, he is always just the guy that's like taking the piss all of the
Yeah,
time, and
yeah,
it
yeah.
just I couldn't in my head equate that with him actually doing a really
Yeah.
good job of Freddie Mercury. And I'm very protective over Queen and Freddie Mercury. So
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I
You
think.
keep, you
I
keep
was
looking
quite
for
worried.
the punchline, as it were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of actually glad that they've gone with Rami
Yeah.
Malek because I can see him doing that I hope he does well.
So it says that apparently Bryan Singer is in talks to direct the Freddie Mercury biopic that's currently untitled at this stage. So that's sort of the end of movie news. That's what's happening.
Other things probably happened, but we just don't know what they are. All right, well, that was some movie news. What about quickfire reviews? What have we all got? What have we seen lately? I'm often we've put this segment in for the week, but it's possibly just going to be me saying the millions of things I've seen in the cinema.
Does it have to be cinema?
Doesn't have to be cinema. Whatever you're into at the
okay.
moment. Because I happen to know that Matt purchased a Netflix account.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
In the interest of expanding his mind.
Yeah, and I it was a little bit overwhelming for the first kind of couple of days because I spent the whole thing just kind of scrolling down, going, "Oh, I could watch that. I could watch that."
Did you get into a bit of a tears where you didn't actually know what to watch? In the end,
I was kind of like scrolling through the various suggestions, and then I kind of look at my watch and think, "Oh, I've been here like 45 minutes just trying to decide what to watch."
Yeah, that's actually most of your evening is figuring out what the hell. And then you make the wrong decision sometimes, and you're like, "Oh my god, I've wasted my life." It's quite dramatic being a member
it's quite overwhelming getting a Netflix account. You're like, oh, I can see everything. It's
Yeah, but eventually, after watching a couple of films, like what do I watch? Oh, Lucy, and the Total Recall remake.
Right.
And kind of going, oh, I suppose you're okay.
Oh, Netflix isn't living up to promises.
Well, the other thing is there were certain things that I wanted to watch, but I knew that they might come up on the pitch to Matt section.
Right, okay.
Specifically,
wait until we actually instruct you to watch a show.
Exactly, yeah. But eventually what I settled on was Gotham, which is again, it's DC.
Oh, yeah.
And it's basically it's the time between the death of Bruce Wayne's parents. Newsflash, they are actually dead.
They are dead.
Yeah.
What?
Because you do see that
Not
yet
Martha.
again. And then kind of the events leading up from that to the kind of the start of Batman.
Right.
But
Yeah,
we
talked about
it briefly on the first episode.
The first episode, because Jay had seen it.
Yeah, I really do quite like it actually.
Okay, good.
It's kind of it follows. It's sort of half a conspiracy along with kind of Wayne Enterprises and Bruce Wayne. It's half kind of the rise of the Penguin, and it's half kind of following Jim Gordon and his partner as they do solve all these kind of weird crimes of the week. But it does a good job of introducing the Penguin, the kind of two sort of warring families of gangsters that are in Gotham at this time, and a few of the supervillains are introduced and done really well. Like the Penguin is really, really convincing.
Yeah,
I've heard he's really good.
Yeah. He's definitely, because it's difficult to make the Penguin not
Serious.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
because he is ridiculous. But in this one, he is actually kind of a genuine threat, and you can see, the kind of the way he works. Edward Nygma was done really, really well as well, and a kind of very, very slow burn. So, like, you find out in the first episode that he's a forensic scientist that works for the Gotham City Police Department. So he works along with Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock, who's his partner. He works along with them, and for almost the entire first series, he's not really a villain in any way. And then he kind of suddenly gets triggered and then starts to change. But he's very well done, I think. Catwoman's quite well done. She's a sort of teenage sort of runaway or street kid who the very first scene is, so it's not really a spoiler, is she witnesses the murder of Martha Wayne and Thomas Wayne, so that's why she kind of gets linked to Jim Gordon and Bruce Wayne. So she's kind of in it quite a lot. Who else is in there? Poison Ivy is, again, she's a kind of like teenager, but she doesn't have any kind of superpowers, and really she's not in it. You're kind of told she's there, and she has a little bit of interaction, but she hasn't done anything yet.
Okay.
How far did he get?
About halfway through season 2. So the ones I've just seen are the Mr. Freeze ones, which really kind of disappointed me actually, because Mr. Freeze is one of my favourite characters, and I don't think they did him very well.
Oh, you mentioned that in the first episode, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, oh, so you made those choices, did you? And he didn't really focus on Mr. Freeze very much. His character wasn't built up very much for me, and it's kind of like, oh, really?
You were disappointed by DC. Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the whole rest of the series is actually really, really well done, and you see
Yeah.
the kind of it's almost Jim Gordon as Batman in many ways, because he is the kind of like this
Okay.
hero cop, and he starts off very idealistic, and his partner's very kind of like a bit of a dirty cop, and with links to the mob via kind of this new sort of mob underboss called Fish Mooney, who's a really, really good character as well. And the bit where it's just a kind of slightly strange crime drama are really, really well done, and the bits where they start to introduce the super villains is not as well done for me. So that's kind of I
Okay.
like the first series better than the second series so far.
How many series is there?
There's 3, but only 2 on Netflix, because the third series has just started now.
okay.
So, and it's on Fox, I
So,
think.
Um,
Oh, Victor Zsasz is very good in it as well. Although he's not,
cool.
he's not very close to his comic book.
Not quite as crazy.
Yeah. Well, his comic book thing is he's very much a kind of classic pattern serial killer, whereas in this he's the kind of most frightening and dangerous mob hitman. But he does still do things like make the marks on his arms when he kills someone and things like that. So he is quite well done.
so I just want to say that the one things that I've been watching is I watched the Gilmore Girls now, and I'm now
Yeah, we've heard Gilmore.
completely caught up. And it's only 5 days of this time, but when the episode's out, it'll only be 2 days to go until the new one's released. On
You can talk
Netflix.
about it next week.
And I'm so excited.
She's too excited. She can't wait.
I'm so excited. I'm
Oh.
so excited that I might cry. Yeah, I'm really happy. I
So
can't wait.
I've just seen a bunch of very average films, so I can't really have anything I can
Oh,
talk about or complain about.
Actually, my mother came up to see me and Christian, because I had a play on in London, and my mother came up to see it because she's a nice mother, and she introduced me and Christian to a film that we'd never seen before, that I just gotta say like very briefly about.
Oh yeah,
Called Hotel Transylvania, which is a animated film. That's brilliant. It's hilarious. It's like one of those films you just
Isn't
laugh out loud.
Isn't that a
all
song
the
by
time.
the Eagles?
they
Yep,
should have done that on the. They
Yeah,
missed a
should
trick
have, they
not
missed a
doing
trick.
that.
But they
in
do
the
have a
film.
sequel we
Because they
haven't
have a
seen.
band in the film.
Oh, right.
Oh my
With
God.
Dracula as the
Yeah.
singer.
Oh, nice.
They missed a trick not doing that.
Yeah,
Unless
they
they did it
did.
and I missed
They
it.
might have did it in
maybe.
the sequel, but no, I just gotta say that I really, really like that film. It's one of those like films that I haven't heard that many people talk about. So
It got a sequel.
I mean, it got a sequel, so it must have done good. But it's just the fact that it kind of flew under the radar for me. So the fact that we
Oh,
watched
that's
it, and
pretty good.
I really enjoyed it. It was really funny. So
Things to watch for the day. I've
So,
been
yeah.
watching a good series on Netflix that I'm not very good at watching series because I get really distracted. I'm at work all the time and I miss loads of things. But The Crown that's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
at the
yeah,
moment is amazing.
and we haven't started it yet, but we need to.
It's so good. So I've only watched the first couple of episodes, despite the fact that they're all there. But Claire Foy, who I generally love, anyway,
Yeah.
like most of the things she's been like Wolf
Yeah,
Hall
she's-
and Wreckers,
yeah.
and Matt Smith playing Prince Philip, which
Yeah.
I didn't like. It never really occurred to me when it was announced that he was playing Prince Philip. I was like, yeah, okay, and then I actually looked at it, and he is so good in that part. Like, and then you start
Yeah.
looking at his face, going, yeah, you really do look like you are baby Prince Philip.
Baby
Baby
Prince.
Prince Philip.
It's quite like an actual baby as well. But that series is like I cannot fault it. It's
Yeah, I've
it's
heard nothing
very
but
well
good
written,
things.
very well executed.
So what's the kind
amazing.
of period that it covers then?
So it starts kind of just before Queen Elizabeth becomes Queen Elizabeth. It's just before she marries Prince Philip, I think,
Okay.
and then kind of a little while into the first episode, her father dies and she becomes queen. I think it's the first
Spoiler.
episode. So it's kind of that. Spoiler alert! Just in case
Spoiler for
nobody knew that
anybody that's
happened.
not
That'd be-
If
that'd
you
be-
don't
Spoiler
follow
for
the royal
anybody that
family.
doesn't. Anybody that's listening from like not England.
No!
Yeah. If anybody's listening from not England, the Queen does become the Queen.
yeah.
That
Conveniently.
happens.
That's, yeah. do
That'd
that.
be
And if you
early
want-
1950s then, because I think 1953 is a coronation.
It's so terrible with history and dates. I'm going to go with yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yes. So yes, that's what we've been watching. So that was good.
Well, I didn't talk about any of my terribly average films.
Oh, yeah,
Tell us
sorry,
about
do
your
you
terribly
wanna-
average
Oh.
films.
Do you want to talk about the terribly average film that both me and you watched?
Well,
Or we'll
yeah,
talk
well,
about that
yeah. So
later?
for reviewing for Acting Hour, then I've seen what have I seen? I saw 100 Streets, which
Yeah.
is very sort of fine. I saw A Monster Calls, which was okay. Liam Neeson is a monstrous tree going to like
Yeah,
visit this.
it
this
looks
Does
little-
somebody
fine.
kidnap his daughter?
No.
So
Damn
he
it.
turns into a tree.
Just the twig.
I will find you as he's just growing into a tree.
I will find you. I will turn into a tree, and I will kill you.
Well, it's about a little boy whose
Don't spoil it. I
mother
beg you to
is-
spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it. It's like about a little boy whose mother is dying of cancer, and his parents are divorced. So his dad lives in America, and so he's kind of his life is sort of falling apart, and he sort of imagines this tree monster coming out of the churchyard near his house, and it comes down to visit him. Like 3 nights in a row or something like that, and it so it
Okay,
can
this
tell
is
him a story
literally the
each night.
plot,
As a
which is
plot of
not
the
in the
film.
trailer, so you are spoiling the film for
It's
me
a
now.
book as well.
Well, I've read the book. So.
And yeah, this tree monster it comes down to tell him stories, and it's kind of it's a very strange film. It's not probably not what you'd expect.
Okay.
And it was kind of trippy, but yeah, no, it was pretty cool.
Were
There's
you
some
still
interesting
taking
animation in it.
the cold medicine when you went? To
But that's not the film
Is
at
it
all.
actually
You
just
were
a
like-
really
Like
normal film?
Like the
He was
actually
wandering
happened
around-
is he wasn't Liam Neeson wasn't actually a tree. You just really had
Yeah.
on the cold medicine.
Tell us the truth, Christian. You
Was-
were actually just wandering around a graveyard,
Yeah.
and you walked into
Talking
a
to
tree,
trees.
and there was an Irish tramp there as well.
But it has that thing of you're not sure what's really happening and what isn't. And
Right, yeah.
What's the boy's capabilities, or is it's actually this weird monster thing, and,
Yeah.
and there's a one cameo in it that really sort of flips it on its head, and you're like, that's very confusing. So yes, it's interesting, but it wasn't great.
Okay.
I saw the weirdest film that I really don't understand at all, which is a film called Nanny Culture, which, as far as I know, was a documentary. But except bits of it was staged, apparently, because I looked into it.
Okay.
So some of it was staged with actors, but it was technically a documentary following a nanny who went to the UAE to somewhere in Saudi Arabia or something to work with this family of 6 kids, I think, lots of kids.
Okay.
As being the British nanny there, because British nannies are very fashionable
Yeah.
over there. I
Because
couldn't.
everybody wants Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it was basically.
Yeah.
Basically,
Very
I
much so.
couldn't figure out any practical reason for British nannies to be popular over there, other than that people have watched too many movies.
Isn't that the reason for most things?
Basically.
Yeah.
It could very well be true. There's a lot of countries that have English schools, which are basically based on like Eton or things like that, and people pay lots of money just to get an English style education, even though they're not any better than any other school.
Yeah, but it was a very strange film because some of it was fake, and the crew and the director interacted with the things that were going on at the time, and some of it looked very staged, and it was just a very odd film.
I think I've seen the
Interesting,
trailer for it actually.
possibly, but it was interesting, sort of into that culture and that world that I don't really know anything about. But yeah, it's just the most bizarro movie, and like I left it going. I had to research it since I left because I didn't know at the end whether it was a documentary or not. I genuinely didn't know what this film was
Yeah.
Okay.
and why it existed. But yeah, no, that was a weird one.
Yeah.
Me and Kaylee went to see Bleed for This,
Yeah, the new
which
Miles
comes
Teller
out soon,
film.
I believe. Let me double
Oh,
check.
is that the boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be out.
See, I quite like the trailer.
In 2
Looked
weeks.
fairly good, but then I just kind of thought it's like 1,000,001 boxing movies that have been made before. Like
It
Against All Odds,
basically
he
is.
becomes a champion boxer. Isn't he amazing?
Well, it doesn't really have any drama. That was the problem I had
Yeah,
with it. Is like a guy. He has it's a true story. So he has a car accident, breaks his neck or busts his neck up, and the doctor say you'll never box again. He says I will
Challenge
box again,
accepted.
and then he
Yeah.
boxes again. And that, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really seem like there's really no tension. It's like he never feels like he's really in danger. You feel like he's just really stubborn, and
Yeah,
eventually everyone
it's-
goes, "Yeah, you'll probably be fine." and then he is. And you're like,
Oh no, it's
All
a
right.
climax.
It's
Fine.
one of those films that by the time we got to like the climactic sort of boxing fight, I was like, really? I feel like we haven't got there yet. I
Have
feel
you,
like
have you missed the
there's
actual film part?
I feel
of it?
like there's
Yeah.
a lot more drama that should have happened.
he just trains and everything works out. He never
Yeah.
has like a real setback other than
mean,
the car accident, obviously.
The
Yeah.
performances
But he
I
just-
thought
yeah.
were really, really good. I think I really like Miles Teller, and I thought he was great in that film. And I think Aaron Eckhart is doing that whole like
Transformation thing.
that transformation thing where you kind of go, wait, is that Aaron Eckhart? And yeah, it is. So
No, it was fine. It wasn't a bad film.
no, it wasn't a bad film. It was just felt like it was a bit of a missed
Wasn't sure,
opportunity
yeah.
to. It doesn't make it. I feel like it
But
needed
they'd,
a better
they'd have to
director.
have injected, presumably, some false drama into the narrative. 'cause it's a
That's
true
true,
story.
because I feel like they have to go with what the story actually was. And if the story actually was that he just got in a car accident and they were like, you can't fight again, and he went,
Yeah.
well, no.
But it's not like he wasn't the. I guess what I'm trying to say is that he wasn't the underdog. He didn't have anything to prove. He was just a guy who really wanted to box.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he did.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. There was no stakes in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
There was no bit where his fiance or something like, no, this boxing training is tearing us apart, or things like that.
At least if it was
You're tearing
fiction,
me apart,
if it had
Jesus.
been a fictional film. But at least if it had been a fictional film, I've been like, oh
Brilliant.
my god, he could die.
So-
But it's a true story,
Yeah.
and he doesn't. So
Yeah.
It's
spoiler.
definitely spoiler alert, it's fine.
What do you want me
Yeah.
to do? What do you want me to do with that?
Though there was the scene where they take the screws out of his
That
skull.
was pretty grim. Yeah.
Was one of the worst things. I was just
and he
looking at it
refuses
like,
painkillers.
and he refused painkillers, so they just like unscrewing screws from his skull, and he's just there going breaking chairs.
Yeah,
and
he
the pain
rips the
of
chair's
it.
arms off.
And I was just there
That's a
going,
pretty-
no,
pretty
no.
intense scene.
So why did he refuse painkillers then?
Because
he's
he's
a
stubborn.
bit of a stubborn nutter, to
It's a
be
bit
honest.
stubborn.
Right, okay.
His whole character
'Cause
was
he's that tough.
He's stubborn.
He doesn't need painkillers.
Yeah, he kind of liked getting beaten up in the ring, didn't he? He kind
Yeah,
of
bit
he
of
kind
a
of
glutton
liked
for
that.
punishment.
He's like, I don't really
Masochist,
feel pain.
basically.
It's fine.
Be a little bit.
It's his major
Yeah.
problem there.
So, but yeah,
Yeah, that was again another sort of okay. A lot of
It was-
okay movies. I've seen
yeah,
lately.
I've heard that a lot of people really, really like it. Yeah, for me, it just was slightly underwhelming.
But I'm seeing
From the
Bad
lack
Santa
of-
2 next week.
Are you excited?
Yeah, instant classic. I'm calling it now. 5-star review. No, none of this is going to be
I
true.
really look forward to this review.
Bad
It's gonna
Santa
be-
2, Bad Santa.
Oh man.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
It always
enjoy
seems
that.
weird to me that the Americans they call Father Christmas Santa, and America's a very Christian country. So why would they want their Father Christmas to be an anagram of Satan?
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
don't understand the word anagram, so they don't realise. I'm sorry, that was actually really harsh. I'm just
But we've
being a
already had
massive
that
bitch right
conversation
now.
earlier before we went to see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The fact that they've, rather than call like people who don't have magic ability muggles, which is what the British call it, they call it nomads, which is just really
It's got no
silly
imagination in it.
way. It's just like the dumbed down version of a muggle.
See, when you say nomad,
Well, it's
to
not-
me that just sounds like you're refusing Madonna.
Nomad.
Nomad. I've told you
Nomad.
before.
I think nomad sounds like something you have to rub in.
It's
Got
some
your
kind of
nomad.
ointment.
Thank you, doctor.
It's really weird. I mean, J.K. Rowling wrote the script, so she's like, you know, it's
She
not
picked
like
it.
somebody else picked it. She did pick it, so you know, that's fine, I guess.
Like we said before, they had to change well, they didn't have to, but they changed philosopher to sorcerer, didn't they? Because they didn't think philosopher would mean anything to American audiences.
Yeah, we're sorry,
Well,
that
Americans.
doesn't make
that are-
sense.
we
Do they
actually
not have the word philosophy.
You presume so. They must do. They must have. They must be.
I mean, they speak the same language as us, though, right?
Yeah, it
'Cause
makes no
I
sense.
feel like
Yeah,
we
they do.
shouldn't-
I realise that we've been quite
actually-
harsh on America, but we haven't actually recorded
It's all
an
pop-
episode since President Trump, so you know.
That's
America is
That's why the
officially
issues,
a
guys.
joke again.
Well
Yeah.
done, America.
Fun times.
Well done.